Hey YouTube, how can somebody be profitable? How can an owner-op small trucking fleet be profitable if you're running a high deadhead? And when I say high deadhead, I mean 50-60%. There's businesses who do it. It can be a pretty profitable way to go. There's kind of two factors that go into this. One is specialization, which we'll talk about more on a different video, and the other is distance from home or working area. So I want to just make a few definitions, just so we're all speaking the same language. In different parts of the country, different things, everyone has their opinions, and this is my opinion. So I would have you consider the following. I'll give you the punchline first. Like being OTR and like being out there, that's good, that's great. If you've got some other desires, you really might consider staying more local. One of those reasons is the rate you can charge. So OTR being somewhere from 1,000 to 1,500 miles away from HQ, away from the shop, away from the house, wherever you run out of. You can run regionally where you're kind of home home weekly for sure. And that's somewhere in that 1,000 miles down to 1,000, 1,200 down to 500 to 300, give or take. And to me, that 200 to 300 kind of seems to be the sweet spot for me, and it has been in the past. So that's what I mostly want to talk about today, is staying local, staying within this 250, 350 mile radius. It puts you in a position where customers are used to paying for both ways. The other, again, I mentioned earlier, a little teaser, is specialization. That's the other way you really become more of a price maker than just a price taker. There's always negotiations in every contract or load. However, we want to get more in a position where customers are calling us, shippers are calling us, and we're giving out quotes rather than always worried about the spot market, always searching on load boards for every single load. I want to say the easiest, you could argue that it's not the easiest. I found it way easier on a more local basis than OTR to develop those direct shipper relationships. And those guys that are just shipping across town, across county, across the state, within that 10 miles all the way to 300, 400, 500 miles. They're used to paying, and more. When you get into specialization, you can go way more miles. I've deadheaded thousands of miles in a week, and still made good money. Some guys don't even make thousands a week. Anyways, that's a different story for a different day. But if you're one of those guys that can run 5,000 miles in a week, do the math. Not really talking to you guys. This is a little more for everyone else. Wants to stay a little more local, wants to go home, which now I'm part of that for sure. Those customers, those shippers are used to paying for both ways. When they just ship across the way there, just not too far, the back haul is something you don't even talk about. It's something that doesn't even enter the equation. It doesn't even enter the conversation. I'm gonna go super short. Like, let's think about like highway jobs. Okay, dirt, aggregate type. They're running 50, maybe up to 100 miles from HQ. Sometimes more, but a lot of times not. Most of the time, it's pretty dang local. Those guys have a tendency to bill by the hour and get paid by the hour or by the load, based on production. And both are great, both are fine. And as long as you can go make money and not spend hardly anything in fuel sometimes. That truck's just sitting there idle and you're sitting there getting paid by the hour. That works. The exact opposite is you're burning a lot of fuel, running up and down the road, and got a lot more direct costs because you're actually running. I would have you consider coming more local. What kind of work do you want to do? If you don't want to run dirt, fine. If you don't want to do commodities, fine. Ag commodities or livestock, fine. If you want to run equipment or even if you want to do van reefer, whatever, flatbed, if you will start to develop relationships with direct shippers in your local area, it won't be long and you'll be able to stay pretty busy. You might even find one that's got enough loads to keep you fully busy. I would caution you about having all your eggs in one basket. We'll talk about that a different day. However, when you get running for a local-ish, either one or multiple, you can build it multiple where people are calling you and you're 2 or 3 weeks. If you're just like one truck and whatever, you can be booked out a few weeks, and depending on what you're hauling, that's maybe okay with them. It's your scheduling, and so you got work for the next 2-3 weeks out. I've been as much as 6 weeks out at different times. So start to develop those relationships more local. The topic of this is just local. We're going to talk more about how you can make the same thing, how you can do the same thing regionally and the same thing OTR. But for today, we're just talking local. If you want to be home every night and I was going to go down a different road, but I'm not going to. Start to develop direct shipper relationships. And at first, it won't be easy. It won't be easy. If you don't know anybody, if you just moved to town, okay, it's going to take a little bit to develop some relationships. But you just stay persistent. Don't get annoying. But if there's some outfit you want to work for, just gently, persistently stay dedicated it'll seem like nothing's happened. So, like you're not getting any traction. It'll seem like this is never going to work. You'll go along, you'll make a whole bunch of contacts, and okay, yeah, we'll let you know if we have any work. And like, okay, great, yeah, keep me on the list. You'll follow up with people sometimes 20 times over the course of a few months, and they just, at least right now, they're not going to give you a shot. And what you're kind of waiting for on those type are somebody to mess up, because they already have their Rolodex full. Like, they know, and they've seen guys like you come in before. But you just stay calm, stay patient, stay persistent, and eventually, before I say the next thing, don't wait on anybody either. Somebody, even if you have a really good conversation, like, oh yeah, that sounds real great, yeah, that'd be good, let's do it. Until you've got a load booked, or at least a commitment for the 32nd of next month. Okay, great, be here. Until you've got some, at least verbal commitment, I wouldn't wait, because you will starve to death waiting patiently for somebody to get back to you. So I said that, and I'll go back. What'll happen is you just keep talking to more and more people, get more and more contacts, get more and more good conversations. You got to go sell yourself. Like, it's, if you want to just be a truck driver and just drive truck, there's different strategies for that. But if you want to be a business owner and build something, you got to have some sales skills, straight up. You got to learn to be able to sell anything. But what will happen eventually, someone is going to mess up, or they're going to have an increase of production, and somebody's going to give you a shot. Somebody's going to give you a shot. And you're going to be all excited. Here we go. Let's go trucking, baby. And there's just so many topics to talk about. But they'll give you a shot. Do a good job. Follow up. Communicate properly, appropriately for what you're doing. And be professional, clean, tidy, those sort of things. And then what'll happen is, if they like the work you do, you'll get another call, and then another one, and then another one. But you go do a bad job, and you won't get called again. So you'll have to wait for someone else to give you a shot. You just have to keep selling yourself. Like, yeah, I can do this work. I can do a good job. I'll be here on time. I'll communicate. So, then it builds from there. You start building those relationships and you got to play the long game. Sometimes you get hungry. Sometimes you're just about starving to death. Things are really lean. You don't want to get desperate with these. This is the long game. You show up, just, hey, I'm here, I can do a good job. If you go in there and say, oh my gosh, I need work so bad. Like, I got to work like today. That desperation sometimes will work for you, most of the time not. So it's not a strategy I would use. Show up cool as a cucumber. This is what I am, this is what I do. I just got my authority. Or I've been around a while, I'm doing some changes. And I just need a shot. Just need a chance to prove myself. Hell, offer to run one for free. Like, hey, let me run one. If I'm no good, you don't pay me. I've never done that, but somebody will take you up on that. And then you make damn sure that you do a good job, so that they'll pay you and they like you. And then it's not long and you become the top of their Rolodex. You're the first one they call. And if they're a shipper that has many loads a day or many loads that more loads than you can handle, you just need to manage those relationships appropriately. If you want to buy more trucks and do more of that, building, that's cool. If not, so that customer that you're going after, is important that they're a little bit bigger than you, than how big you want to grow over the next couple years. Some of you may have customers you have for 100 years. Most of the time, business goes through these 2 to 5 year kind of stints, and I would just, so if I want to say have 10 trucks, I'd look for companies, or again, I wouldn't get all my eggs in one basket, or a company that's basically running 10 loads a day, 365 days or 250 days a year. That might become a great place to just try to get in there and be one truck for one day. So anyways, there you go, guys. Consider coming more local. They're used to paying double rates, or double the rate, instead of going OTR and trying to make $2 a mile. And here on a more local basis, you can very easily just charge 4, sometimes more, depending on how long it takes to load and unload, detention, and all those details, because the magic is in the details of each thing. So anyways, there you go.